GM, everyone. How is everyone doing? And GM to our fearless leader, Michael Wagner. How are you doing, my friend?
Good morning. I don't think there we go. Camera's working.
Uh, let's go.
I think everybody wants to see your face, Jose.
Let's see if my camera will work. Please work. Hey, here we go. I even
There
combed
he
my hair.
is.
Do you see? I am. I have my
The
OG,
beautiful new hair.
beautiful new hair, OG Stratos t-shirt. I am ready. I'm ready for today.
Jose, we have once again impeccably timed our town hall with the market crash. I think
Is,
I think our batting average on this is 1,000.
is this a skill? Is this a blessing? Is this our destiny? I don't know, but you can believe on this. If you want to trade, this is the best sign the market has to offer you. Honestly, never
Inverse
fails.
town hall.
Inverse Townhall. You see Townhall, you short.
But that's
uh,
okay. Market conditions, we don't care. We've got some exciting
we don't
stuff.
care.
We're gonna
We
roll it
have
out no matter what.
we have some exciting stuff, and to follow the traditions of the town hall, I'll ask you, Michael, do you have your water with you?
I do. I do have a little bit of creatine water, as a matter of fact, right here.
Sheesh. I have two things with me, Michael, for today. I have my small bottle of water to make sure I stay
Okay.
hydrated, but I have something special. I have been saving this. I only use this in special occasions. Can you guys see this? This is a Macallan, 15 years old, and I saved this for special days, for days when my life and my work reach certain milestones. And I have the impression that I'm going to start, that I'll have a drink today to celebrate the content of our town hall. How do you feel about this, Michael? Am I on the right track here?
Already leaking alpha. Yeah, I agree with you. I think today will be a celebration. What people can you pick up your water jug again?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, what people don't realize, that's actually a 5-gallon water bottle. It just looks tiny in his hands.
Absolutely, got you straight hydrated. Um, Michael, your camera is frozen, I guess, if you want to restart it. Okay, it's back. Awesome. Awesome. So, with this slight hype that I just did, I think we should get started on maybe before going through the topics for today, Michael. How are you
Mhm.
feeling about everything? Like, let's do a recollection of this year. It has been a tough year for
Mhm.
sure, but we have been fighting on. The community is strong. The team is developing as never before. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on how you're feeling right now at this special day of the town hall.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big question, but generally I would say I have kind of an ironic level of enthusiasm around everything that's going on with Star Atlas. To your point, it's been not only a rough a rough year, it's been a rough couple of years. We've had very little reprieve in the Web3 gaming space, really since the beginning. And we've seen a lot of shutdowns of studios out there, but we're here. We're building. We've had to go through some painful cuts and some difficult strategic decisions, but our team continues to push forward with perseverance and leveraging all of the latest technology that's available to us. You've heard us talking about agentic systems and AI coding and the way we're incorporating that into our development process. And in a lot of ways, yeah, am I coming through okay? I'm seeing comments on from Larimore with the audio.
Yeah, it's cutting a little bit. Maybe it's a little choppy.
We can kill the video if we if we need to here. I'm going to continue trying for a bit, and if it's still bad, then I will cut the video stream and see if that helps at all.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Sure.
but point is, as I was getting at, is I'm still quite optimistic about where we're at Star Atlas and what we're building and what's up and coming, and we've got some great things to share and announce today and reveal today. Um, uh, and specifically, I think there's a convenient coincidence that occurred earlier this year with the release of some of these agent harnesses like OpenClaw and Hermes, and how we're empowering the team to use these with LLM backends. And in a lot of ways, I actually think we're developing at a faster pace today with a significantly smaller team than we've been able to achieve historically with pure human resources. So all of that is to say, I'm very optimistic. I'm very excited about what we have to share today. And yeah, Jose, I think we could probably jump into it.
Awesome, awesome. Yes, we have a pretty packed agenda. We'll be going through pretty much every development front in Star Atlas. We'll talk about everything that you guys want to know about Unreal Engine 5 project, C4 PTR, z.ink, and I guess it's time to get the show on the road. And to get us started, I would like to invite to the stage two legends of Star Atlas. The first one, the legendary Magic Puncher, the king of the Unreal world, Mr. Brad Warren. Welcome to the stage, my friend.
Hey, Jose, good to be here, man.
Look at him, man. The face of Pierce Industries. How you doing, Brad?
Good. You know it's going to be a packed town hall when we lead with Unreal Engine. Whatever's coming after, it's got to be pretty good. So,
How you doing, Brad? All good? Ready for today?
yeah,
I
yeah,
heard I heard you got some cool stuff for us today.
yeah. Excited to share.
Awesome, awesome. So I think I should call to stage as well. Uh, the chief product officer. Oh, you're going to be streaming? Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good.
Okay, okay. So I'll leave you to it. Let's do it.
All right. Cool. So, can everyone see my stream?
Yep, I see it.
It's cool. It's not playing yet. Yeah. So this is just a single playthrough that I did. I edited it down for time, but I'm just going to kind of walk you through. We're going to talk about a couple new features. A lot of this we kind of shared at a brew a few weeks back, but there's some new stuff in here. So we'll get going. So the first new thing is the ability to skip the intro mission. So if you've already played it, you want to start a new game, you don't want to do it again, you get a skip intro mission. You've crashed on Marevia. Would you like to experience the intro mission or begin at Nova Starbase? So you can skip straight to Nova Starbase, and you don't even have to load Marevia. You just pop right in, and you start with all the gear that you would have gotten. And then also of note, you can start the intro mission, and then if you decide, you get stuck or whatever, you can just open your journal, and there's a button there that you can skip straight here. Same thing, works just the same. So now I'm switching back to my own save game. I've got some weapons. I didn't notice at the time I don't have any ammo. That'll come to bite me in the butt a little later, but we'll get going. So yeah, I'm just gonna call up a ship. I'm gonna take my trusty Pierce X4. And if I open my station menu, missions, elimination. So this is the new type where we go to an outpost on the planet's surface. There's 3 different outposts with different difficulty levels. I'm going to go for the medium one, threat level 2. And so this is Outpost 244, which you will recognize as what we use for bot battle. So we took that bot battle arena and we placed it on the dark side of Morevia, so it's nighttime, so it's kind of cool. Let's just open up my locations tab, highlight or select Outpost 244. So kind of one of the main flagship improvements in this release is the ability for AI to navigate across planet surfaces. The Unreal navigation that ships out of the box assumes it has to be a flat world, but we're on a sphere. Unfortunately, the flat earthers are wrong, and I wish they weren't. It would make my job a lot easier. So we have
should
to
make flat
navigate on a
planets.
sphere.
Let's
Yeah.
make flat planets in Star Atlas.
Yes, let's do it. So yeah, coming in, nighttime.
This is my first time seeing nighttime. This is interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool seeing it all lit up like that at night. It makes for some rough landings. We need to get some headlights on our ships.
Totally not a skill issue, right, Brad? It's all the night's
Oh
fault.
yeah, no. Yeah, no. It's not a skill issue. And I was wishing I brought a sniper rifle, but scout rifle will have to do. So I could come up here, any which way, but I'm just going to go on the landing pad because that's what I'm used to from bot battle.
I see your 15 ammo, Brad. Jesus.
I know. I've only got the ammo that's in my guns, so I have to keep switching guns. But yeah, so there's a system now where if you're seen, they'll sound the alarm. If you're seen and you kill them fast enough, it doesn't trigger the alarm, but I wasn't quite fast enough, so the alarm went off. So now they should be looking for me. Yeah. Gotta get their loot. I don't know what this idiot's doing. He didn't get the memo. I'm getting shot with a shotgun, man, but that loot is more important. I gotta get that loot.
Yeah, there's a reason why you were never part of the automated teams.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. So the objective of the mission is to kill the boss. So there's a boss character. He's got a Gatling gun and heavy armor, and you'll see him in a minute. But you don't actually have to kill any of these guys. It's not part of the mission.
This is interesting.
If you could sneak your way in, stealth your way in, and take him out and leave, then you'd still finish the mission.
Yeah, if you had, for example, a sniper rifle, you could just snipe and GG.
Yeah.
And they will keep spawning as long as the alarm is on?
No, there's a fixed amount.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can hear, but they talk and they'll call out. That guy just called out. I see him. So yeah, they'll call out barks when they find you or when they can't find you, when they're reloading, when they're taking cover. It's kind of fun.
That's the boss, right?
Yeah.
He has different kind of armor. I like it.
Yeah. Boom, 5,000 credits.
Let's go.
Got it. Now you gotta loot that body. Oh, this guy got the sneak on me. Oh,
no way, Brad.
So I actually died on purpose. I died on purpose to show this new feature. Actually,
sure. Yeah,
So now when you die, you spawn at your ship instead of back at Nova
I
Starbase.
see. I see. Totally intentional.
Yeah. So there will be some limitations on this in the future. We're thinking like there's a cooldown or something. It won't just be infinite, but for now it is as long as your ship exists, you'll respawn at your ship. So don't. That's one reason why I parked so far away. I didn't want them shooting my ship.
Makes sense.
So yeah, that'll save people a lot of time. I think people will really enjoy that. That's a nice quality of life thing. So now we're gonna go hunting. We're gonna go find the minkies, and they are roaming in the grasslands. They're not in the jungle, so don't go looking for them in the jungle. They're only in the grasslands. These grassy plateaus. I was just I was just joking with I was talking with Dark Void about how it's always super easy for me to find these things and he can never find them. So yeah, I just picked a random spot and I roll up. And there they are.
No way.
Yeah.
You are the chosen of the minks.
I give them the Minky Whisperer. Well, until I start slaughtering them.
This makes me feel kind of bad, not gonna lie.
It used to, but I got used to it. Now I'm a cold hard killer. So now minkies drop biomass, and so
Oh man, this is
there's
so
a reason to mow them down. And yeah, I did it once, and I got all the biomass I got. It was like 1,500 credits worth of biomass, so it's not nothing. That's
cool. No,
a decent chunk of change.
yeah, and thinking about the overall mechanic here, this opens the door for so much stuff in Project Galia. Like we could
Oh
have
yeah.
a wide variety of NPCs, mobs, and etc. with recipes and stuff like that. This is
Yep.
just crazy.
He hid behind that tree. Couldn't get him.
3, 2, 1.
All right, yeah. So for our final stop, we put in a hard day's work, so we need to hit the beach. So we've greatly improved the fidelity of oceans. So now they look pretty nice. Before they were kind of awful. So we'll see what those look like. There's not a lot. There's not a ton to do with them at the moment. There's no real gameplay associated with them yet, but they do look very nice and they're fun to ride on.
Yeah, we need to add something to those oceans, Brad. Maybe an outpost, something like this.
Yeah, I'm planning on an oil rig type outpost in the middle of the ocean.
Awesome.
So yeah, you can ride on them in hover mode, which is kind of fun. Getting a little wave runner thing. A lot of people have asked when we're doing a water racetrack. So
We need one. We need one.
yeah,
Sure.
that'd be cool. And so you can actually get off and swim, kind of swim, but you float in the water and you can kind of see there's coral and seaweed and stuff down there, which is pretty fun.
The depths of the ocean.
Yeah.
This is super cool. I already am imagining Bioshock in Starata's universe.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that's what I really wanted on that oil rig. If you could go down under the water and like look out the windows and see like reefs and fish and maybe a sea monster or something.
That would be super cool. Or very well Subnautica.
Ah.
When fishing minigame, Brad, the community is asking.
Yeah, right? When fishing. The only thing I'm missing is a crafting recipe for a Mai Tai. So we could.
Yeah, I feel you.
Cool. Yeah, that's what we got today. Yeah, we got I want to see the crafting habs that players craft and place right there on the beach. It's going to be real nice.
Awesome, Brad. Yeah, it is. It's looking awesome. And do we have a date for this new update?
We do. Did we want to announce that now or?
Hmm, good
Announce
question,
it.
Michael.
Ship it.
Ship
Let's
it?
go.
All right, we'll ship it at the end of the town hall. We'll push it live.
Awesome, awesome. Our first release of the day. Let's go.
Yeah, boy.
Awesome, Brad. And
Hey, did
before
we? Yeah, before we break, Jose, hopefully I'm coming through a little better. I did a full Wi-Fi reset, so we'll see. I can try to jump back on video momentarily here. But did we want to take a moment while we have Brad on stage and just get a question or two out there from the audience? Make it a little more interactive today through the course of the town hall.
I like it. I like it.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down.
Does anyone want to ask Brad questions? I see so many people typing.
Yep, no loading screens.
Ship lights coming? Crackers asked.
Yeah, we've prototyped them in the past. There was a time when we had some headlights on some ships. But yeah, we could look into that again. What's next on your agenda for features? I kind of want to build out more content, more outposts, like we were talking about, more crafting recipes. We'd like more creatures on the surface. So the minky obviously is just target practice, but it'd be nice to have some like monsters that are actually a challenge to fight that drop some cool loot.
That would be super cool. People are asking if we are planning any submerged missions in the ocean.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. It wouldn't be hard to do. We've already got. We'd probably do the fake it kind of thing like we did before with those underground bunkers, and just it'll be a self-contained level, and you can see out the windows and stuff. But yeah, that's totally possible.
I see 2 questions about multiplayer. The first one is would be asking if it would be hard to implement a co-op option for Project Galia. And the others are asking about our vision for multiplayer in Unreal Engine 5 in the long run.
Yeah, so the biggest reason that co-op has never come to Project Galia is because the planet tech doesn't. It's not, the planets aren't replicated. So the planet that's generated for me is not the same planet that's generated for you. It's just a fundamental limitation of our planet tech. So that's really the main thing to get any kind of multiplayer working. So yeah, it's hard to say. That
This
horse is
horse,
terrifying.
this always destabilizes me. I can't handle this horseman. It's an abomination against nature and life. And Michael loves it for some reason. Jesus Christ.
I do. It's a staple of mine. I think I post that 10 times a day.
It's your spirit animal, right, Michael?
It is.
Oh man.
Brad, I'm
People are-
gonna put you on the spot here, and not to put you in an uncomfortable position, but there are a lot of questions in the community about some of our existing features, things like arena shooter, racing, and some of the issues that we've been encountering there. Now, in full disclosure, and this is not on Brad, you guys all know we've needed to make pretty significant cuts across the team, particularly over the course of this year. So Brad in a lot of ways is a one-man army. Now he does have some support, but he's the primary developer of the UE feature set at this stage. I guess the question for you, Brad, is can we offer any assurances that we can put some effort into bug fixing for people over time, or are we just going to be in a little bit of a stable state with things kind of broken for the time being? Again, putting you on the spot here, I realize that, but anything you can
Yeah,
say to address that?
yeah. So I never have done multiplayer stuff. It's kind of a unique skill set in gaming to do multiplayer and replication and servers and how all that stuff works. I've never worked on any of that stuff either in Star Atlas or any team. So that's kind of a whole new thing for me. And we had a really awesome the Sims brothers for that. But unfortunately, we had to let them go. So I mean, I can try and do little bug fixes here and there, but as far as like major, new features for multiplayer, that's probably not on the table right at the moment.
Awesome.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Yeah. I see a question from Frank Quacker. Is that find the mini flower mission already integrated? Can we do that? Do you remember that mission, Brad? The one with the mini flower hunt?
Yeah, in the pine forest.
Yes, exactly. They are asking if we can integrate that to Moravia or somewhere.
Yeah, we had an idea. You and me, Jose, actually were talking a lot about um, having plant samples that you could find on surfaces and collect them, and then back at your like your room or whatever in Nova, there'd be a room with like display cases of the different
Your trophy
like
room?
samples. Yeah, a little trophy room with the samples of things that you found. I think something like that would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Do we have any other questions for Brad? And sorry if I'm being pushy here, but we have a lot of content to cover today across many different sections. So for the open world, is it a local open world? Yes, every player has its own local world. Brad, I think this is pretty much it, my friend.
Cool.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the updates. Excited
Yeah.
to get back to Project Galia later today.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what everyone else has got in store for this town hall.
So do
All
I,
right, Brad.
Brad. So do I. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it.
Also, Michael, now your camera is working flawlessly.
Good. Yeah. So as you said, first release of the day, which is pretty exciting. We'll roll that Unreal Engine update out at the end of the town hall here. We don't want you guys distracted. We've got a lot more to go through and some exciting stuff. And Jose, I'll let you invite our next guest up.
Yes, we have a very special guest for the next segment. It is something that many members of our community are super excited to learn more about. People have been craving for more informations, for more content, and it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Brave Target, Jacob Floyd, to the stage to talk a little bit about z.ink. Let me see if I can find him here in the audience. Oh, here we go. Welcome to the stage, Jacob.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
There he is.
Oh, good.
Jacob, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Loving what's been shown so far. Hard to follow up what Brad just did. That's awesome.
Jacob was shipping product up to about 5 minutes before the town hall started.
5 seconds, but yeah.
In fact, he's still shipping right now.
Kind of. All right, we can get into it. Do you want to set it up, Jose or Mike? I think there's a good intro here for the next segment.
Yeah, well, let me just do a little intro, Jose, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Also, I just want to give a shout out. I saw our dear friend Dominic Hegarty out there. in the chat. Big W's for him. Hope you're doing well,
Legend.
man. Good to see you
My
at the
brother.
town hall. But yeah, so we've got some exciting stuff today to talk about with z.ink. It's been, I don't want to call it stale. We haven't been talking too much about progress on z.ink, but we have been working diligently in the background on getting the network ready for a mainnet release. I've commented across the community a handful of times. Some people ask questions about, what the status is and what the timelines look like. And there is actually quite a lot that we are orchestrating here to arrive at a state of readiness for a Genesis event. And that can includes coordinating launches, releases, and activity across both Star Atlas and z.ink. Now, z.ink we do treat it as a completely independent entity with an independent roadmap largely. But one of the key pieces of this that I think is imperative for us to coordinate on the launch is having C4 in a state of launching to mainnet on z.ink when we have the z.ink Genesis event and TGE and network launch and mainnet launch. That is primarily because C4 is the flagship product and Star Atlas is the flagship cornerstone brand that will be running on z.ink on launch. We anticipated driving millions of transactions per day as we do now in Starbase, and likely considerably more, not only from the different gameplay mechanics that you're going to be exposed to in C4, but we're also optimistic about the user acquisition and growth potential of C4. So it is very important to us that we kind of align the timing of the release and marketing and promotion and other activities that we want to conclude on to get to that mainnet state alongside the C4 launch. So in a way, that's kind of a blocker. We'll be talking about C4 today, so I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself here. But what we want to cover today are a couple of essential features that will help us grow the network, recruit more developers, get more people building with us alongside us on z.ink. And Jacob's going to cover two of those topics, which will include developer documentation, many of you have been asking about, as well as a bridge. And then we've got another feature that I'll be covering. But with that, Jacob, let me turn it over to you and maybe kick off with the documentation.
Sure. There's kind of a lot to cover, and also a lot of context. Maybe a quick recap of kind of where we were, how this came to be, because z.ink really did start with some, many years ago when we were trying to get Sol on Solana DevNet network, and we had to request it from Solana Labs, and it was like kind of a lot of friction because we weren't just doing like the command line airdrop and getting one Sol at a time. We're kind of thinking pretty prominently about our testing environments. We ended up getting like 10,000 Sol from the Solana team, and we use that to an extent. But when we're talking like really large scale testing capabilities, this kind of set off some alarm bells within our team because, we need to do a lot of testing with a lot of different mechanics and kind of bigger scale there. So in order to do that, the solution was to just get a private Solana cluster that we had full control over the Sol supply. And so we built our own private cluster. That was AtlasNet. And then about I want to say like a year and a half later is when that very hot topic in the community started to arise around like priority fees, just general network fees on Solana mainnet, the cost to run the game. So we paid very close attention to that discussion. And also kind of taken some pages out of, bigger Web3 games. Like Axie Infinity went out and they built or moved, all their operations to the Ronin network when they realized some friction or constraints, limitations with Ethereum mainnet. And so there was kind of a lot to reference here and a lot of strategizing that went on. Mike kind of put two and two together, and we realized there's a path to like really gain more control, influence over the network, and that would help remedy a lot of the fee situation that we were doing, mostly from like a unpredictability standpoint, I guess you could say, and so getting a little more control over our destiny in that regard. And that's really when the real ideation for the z.ink network started, to create this public cluster and kind of carve out a new home base for a lot of our game systems that we're deploying on chain. And yeah, so we started building about a year ago a ton of products with this direction of a public network, using a lot of the same tech that we built for our own testing environments and whatnot. And yeah, z.ink network is not really just about the gaming centric, like supporting Star Atlas. It is going to be our flagship and primary focus and first class citizen, but to have like a blockchain network, a healthy blockchain network, it needs to be an ecosystem that covers a lot of different sectors beyond gaming, and that's where DeFi partners step in, and really a lot of different functions. Just looking at Solana mainnet, just how many different sectors and really high engagement, highly successful platforms there are operating in Solana mainnet. It's a very healthy ecosystem, and I think we're going to aim for really similar coverage of similar sectors in there. So a lot of what we're doing is kind of creating the general purpose onboarding, and that's where we kind of are today. Again, we've been building a lot of products, and we're kind of at this milestone where we're moving into this testnet phase, public testnet phase, where we have these associated products that we're rolling out. Obviously, the blockchain network, publicly accessible, and then the bridge, which to have any network, you're going to need assets to be able to move into it. And so the bridge is kind of like a mission critical component, and then yeah, the documentation to really help with that onboarding for a lot of different types of participants. The network is
Great points there,
really.
Jacob.
Oh yeah, go ahead. If you want to add anything.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, just to recap, I mean, a lot of great points there. But first, I just want to touch on the fact that this is something that, in effect, has been in development for going on 3 years, if not greater than 3 years, and that was with AtlasNet, really to cater to our own internal infrastructure necessities, so that we could test our program deployments without having to rely on Solana dev. That all the net
Michael, you're breaking up a little again.
which that's unfortunate. Can you hear any better?
It's better.
A little bit.
Okay. We'll just I'll let you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a lot that comes with just the testnet network being live, accessible. Again, we're at the point where we really want to get like really good hardware partners involved, people running validators, RPCs, and there's the the associated documentation to kind of help guide you there. If you've ran hardware on Solana mainnet at all, it's basically going to be out of the box type of participation. We're in the process of kind of creating comms channels and trying to find more smoother ways to facilitate like smooth onboarding for any of those types of participants that are just coming in as hardware operators. Good opportunity there. And yeah, we'll have more details on that to come. But I guess the bridge and the docks are where I really wanted to highlight some Some other things. Again, the bridge was kind of built from the ground up. Original architecture, kind of homegrown. With the goal of having small surface area, really concise. A lot of stuff that's sort of fully on-chain validated. We wanted to do as minimal off-chain authoritative stuff as possible, and kind of have a clear path to just be really fully decentralized bridge is I think a great model. And we kind of accomplished something. Oh, and another big goal is to just have it fast. I think that's one thing that SVM enables, and kind of a strength of it is just like the speed to finality is amazing. So we kind of wanted to kind of reflect some of that in our bridge architecture, and I think it's very good. We have a you'll see in the bridge app. It's a bridge between AtlasNet and z.ink testnet, and but it is SVM to SVM, which is at this point the only thing that we're supporting with our z.ink bridge. But there's a convenient faucet for getting test tokens. There's test Atlas, and it'll drop test Sol, test z.ink in order to pay the network fees. So getting fauceted with any wallet that you connect to it. And then, yeah, the main takeaway there is just like seeing if it works, try to break it, and also pay attention to just how fast it kind of resolves to finality from source to destination. I think that's one strength we really have to show off there compared to really the popular high volume bridges out there. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited to be here, kind of showing it off in the testnet capacity. And then, yeah, last, the docs, as dry as it sounds, it's kind of going to be pretty important to convey all the ins and outs of what's going on in the z.ink ecosystem. But it covers all the major pillars of the network there. Instead of running hardware, nodes, RPCs, well as building programs on z.ink altogether, which is virtually identical to building on Solana mainnet. So again, if you've done anything in Solana mainnet in terms of on-chain program development, you're going to be right at home. But the docs do highlight a lot about our own homegrown blockchain framework, Starframe, which we've talked about in the past. I really do think it's suitable. We've been building all of our programs that we've kind of started this year have all been built in Starframe, and it's really a phenomenal piece of work. Like it's the engineering excellence there is very impressive, and it's in an early version of it too. So more people using it, more feedback would be great there. We're really impressed with it.
Jacob,
Yeah.
sorry to
So,
interrupt you, but I see people asking here in the chat, do we have any documentation about the network's main token or about the network itself? People want to know more about the when of the things you are talking about here today.
so this that's kind of the goal of the testnet phase, is to kind of gut check a lot of this stuff. We have sort of the roadmap to mainnet. The biggest portions are validating all these products that are out there, testnet, bridge, and everything else is kind of working as intended. The documentations, they don't go into the tokenomics as much. That's really going to be light paper and probably a separate material release that really gets into the details about the tokens. Yeah, hopefully that's answers the question there.
Yeah, and I can jump in there a little bit as well. I mean, just to clarify, z.ink as a token is effectively synonymous to Sol on the Solana network. So there's not really any innovation on the token side, so to speak. It is the currency that you use to pay for transactions on the network. We will have staking and delegation capabilities with validators, just like you would on Sol. There is an emission curve and an inflation curve that subsidizes people that are participating as validators. And yeah, I mean, there's not really too much more to it. I am going to drop in chat. We've shared this previously. It is just a one pager, and in fairness, this is slightly dated now because this did come out when we first announced the network, and between then and now, we made a open access and a gated open access decentralized network, fully permissionless. And to the question of whether or not partners can on the
Michael,
network, part of is breaking up again.
yes, a little bit.
Yeah. The purpose of releasing documentation is to help onboard new teams onto the network.
Precisely. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it that I'm covering here. Have a link to share. All of the stuff I just talked about is all live at the moment. Just need to get you some links to share so you guys can check it out. And then there's still more to talk about with z.ink. Is your connection stable enough to do this presentation, Mike?
Yeah,
because it's all you. I think you were planning to screen share as well.
I am. Yeah, let's. Just one more point, because Jacob, people are bringing up bridge security, right? It's obvious risk vectors in the crypto space. We've seen a lot of funds have been siphoned out. We have a relatively unique model on how our bridge operates. Maybe you can touch on that just slightly.
Totally. It is like Mike said, it's the most common attack vector in the entire industry is bridge security vulnerabilities or loopholes, exploits that just slip through the cracks, and some seriously huge numbers of funds getting stolen from bridge exploits. And that this product classification, along with like oracles and stuff, like doing anything off chain just exposes you to a whole different ball game when it comes to security. So it's not an ideal position to be in, to be running those products essentially. But again, it's a bridge is kind of a hard requirement for a network like ours to come alive, right? You need the liquidity, the asset values to be able to move over, the assets themselves just to like go there and exist. And that's kind of how all L1s come to life these days. But on the point of security, we don't have an independent security audit done at this point. Again, this is testnet phase. That's why I mentioned just like try to break it. And trick it. I think it'd be hard to do that directly through the front end, but there's some tooling to work directly with the on-chain programs that are associated with the bridge that we'll put out as well to kind of allow people to maybe hack it a little bit better. We really want it to break in some way, and if someone's willing to do that, that'd be awesome. And we are still discussing maybe part of the z.ink token ecosystem allocation could go to sort of a bug bounty hackathon of sorts, to maybe reward people that can rip the bridge apart. So that's kind of it is. Yeah, we're in the testnet phase. Not 100% confidence around like going to production with this, but that's the whole point of kind of testnet phases is to try to break it and do some more security auditing. We've done a fair amount up to this point, and pretty happy about putting it out there. I think it's pretty tight knit, but absolutely not 100% confidence at this point. Good note to end on, I guess.
Yeah, and I was referring specifically to the way that the bridge transactions are confirmed through validators. It's not a centralized solution. It goes across the network. So again, if there's anything you can touch on that, we'll end there. Otherwise, we can jump into the next topic.
Heavily on chain, this whole bridge system is tries to work, but there's kind of a minimum requirement for any bridge to have some degree of like authority that's acknowledging this stuff. There is a path to kind of like make these authorities coupled with the network validators themselves. Really like that approach, but at the moment there's a handful of off-chain servers that are sort of multi-signing to acknowledge these bridge transfers. And they're really just looking at an on-chain account state for these acknowledgements to cross-check them. Again, ultimately, there's like authority keys over these over the bridge to acknowledge those, but it is sorry, I'm saying like the same thing in multiple ways, but yeah, that's was that the question that you were asking about? There's like an off-chain component to it, just as the authority that's sort of validating those. Yeah,
I think it's good coverage. Yeah, I appreciate it, Jacob. Thank you very much. We'll release the links to the documentation and the bridge shortly here. I just want to cover this next section, and hopefully we can get through this without too much internet instability. But I can lead into this kind of with a question that was asked by AST, which is there an end date planned for the origin season? To the points that I was making earlier in the town hall today, there is an end date. The end of the origin season will coincide with the release of z.ink mainnet. So we'll essentially close the origin season shortly before mainnet launch, and that is actually a good segue to jump into what I want to cover today, which is a claims investing portal. Now let me see if I've got this streaming. Okay. This is actually live right now as we speak. This is not my wallet. There's as much as you guys would love it. So I don't have any actual data in here, but you'll be able to go in and connect to this claims portal with your primary Z Profile wallet, and it's going to pull down a hypothetical airdrop allocation for you. Now, this is based on snapshot data that we took yesterday, and I do want to be very clear that this is not final. This is just purely as an example so that you can start to get some information about your account, about the airdrop, and how it's all going to work. Now, there's a couple of key pieces here. We want to just first start with at the very top, Origin Global Summary. This includes information about all of the participants, all eligible participants that are currently earning ZXP in the Origin season. So as of yesterday, there was a total of 2.4 billion ZXP generated across all profiles. There's some 1,600 or so eligible profiles that are participating in the campaign as of right now. We are going to be allocating 10 million z.ink. This is a token that we're using for the purposes of this demo. Million z.ink will be released, 10% of the total supply in the Origin season. Redistributed claims is a really interesting mechanic. I'm going to get into that deeper a bit later. But generally speaking, this entire process consists of both an initial claim as well as a vesting period, and people are able to claim their vesting portion at any point along the curve. However, they will forfeit and sacrifice any of their unvested tokens, which will go back into a pool for which anyone who continues to vest through the entire period will be able to get a portion of. They'll get a proportional share of any forfeited or sacrificed tokens. And so it's 0 as of right now because nobody's claimed and exited early. But you'll see this number update based on when people do claim their tokens, and then unlocked as of right now. It's at 501,000 because 5% of your initial of your total allocation is going to be claimable immediately when we close the origin season. 95% will be vested over a 180-day window, and so as of right now, that 5% plus a little bit is currently available. Again, you'll see this update regularly as the season progresses. Within the Claim Cockpit, this is all information specific to your Z profile. So it's your name, it's your player profile, what level you achieved, how much XP you generated, what portion of the origin season allocation you earned, what portion of the total supply you earned, any redistributed amount that was um, uh, you were eligible for based on your vesting relative to everyone else. If you exited, how much you exited with, and as I said, how much of the total airdrop pool your share consists of. And sorry, this number right here is actually the total allocation that you are eligible for between both your initial claim and the vested portion. So this is very information dense. This is going to make a lot more sense when you connect your wallet, which you can do right now, and you'll be able to see, again, your specific metrics. Within the Claim Cockpit will be the option to claim initial as well as exit vesting. As I don't have anything, I cannot claim these, but these programs are deployed on z.ink testnet right now. And one thing we didn't cover in the bridge is that you are able to utilize a faucet on the bridge to get both AtlasNet Sol as well as z.ink testnet z.ink tokens. And so you can go to the bridge, you can claim your faucet, and then you'll be able to process transactions that are running on z.ink testnet today. Now, these tokens have 0 value, so you can go through that process if you want to, just for experimentation. None of this is locked in. The vesting is not officially starting. I just want to be very clear. This is just purely a hypothetical example of how the airdrop is going to work. What is consistent is the 5% claim, the 95% vested amount, and the 180-day vesting period. Next little category here is the claim simulator. And this will let you experiment with moving along the vesting curve to see how much of your allocation is available to you, the vested amount, what the impact to your claim is, and we'll let you make a decision on whether or not you want to exit at, say, 90 days here, which, as you can see, the curve is quite conservative in the early periods, but does ramp up considerably over the last 90 days. The purpose here is to essentially taper off the initial supply as we roll out the network, give ourselves an opportunity to bring more partners in, more builders in, have more teams developing on the network, and stimulate more demand for the z.ink token, not only for the Star Atlas game product, but for other products that are on the network as well. And so effectively, what you can visualize here is moving along the curve up to the full 180 days and see how that will impact your the amount that you're exiting with. One, again, very important piece here that I think is necessary to emphasize is the redistributed capture. So if other users exit vesting earlier than you, any of the tokens that they forfeit goes back into a pool the shares are calculated and redistributed on a proportional basis to anyone else who continues vesting. Now, those units they get forfeit are also subject to vesting. They're only fully unlocked when, if and when you reach the full 180-day vesting window. However, you're not locked in for 180 days. You can make the decision to exit on day 120 if you wanted to, as an example. And the final little feature here is just kind of a fun feature, but it's an FDV comparison tool. So if you want to see what your Origin season airdrop is worth at, say, Solana's FDV, then it will give you all of the metrics here, what the implied zinc price is based on our 100 million total supply. This is the comparable FDV, so that is of Solana. That's Solana's price, and then this is what the value of the airdrop would be if we achieved Solana's fully diluted value. Now that would be quite ambitious, but it would effectively be a $5 billion airdrop to users if we achieved Solana's FDV. And down here, again, these will be user-specific data points. How much the current value of your claim is based on where we currently sit in the vesting window, how much your initial claim was worth, what your vesting amount was worth, any recaptured, redistributed claims, and then how much your total airdrop allocation would be worth, consisting of all of these, your initial claim plus the origin allocation, plus the redistributed tokens to you if you complete. Mostly just for fun. You can search the top 500 coins on CoinGecko using this tool. But yeah, otherwise, as I said, you can go to the bridge and you can request test tokens, and that is at bridge.z.ink. You can request these test tokens and it'll distribute all of these different tokens to you so you can process transactions on Zinc testnet today. So that was quite information dense. I can fully appreciate that. I will pause for a second. Jose, you were just jumping in. If there's any questions, I'm happy to address those right now.
Yeah, no, super exciting to see this coming to life, honestly. Oh man. And the fact that everyone can already start playing with it, checking the features, it's even more exciting. So let's see the community. I'm sure people have questions. Someone already asked about the vesting, but there are colors explained here in the chat. PG is asking what happens after day 180. Everything just unlocks, right, Michael? The full.
Yeah, everything, the full amount, the full 10 million Zinc tokens will be unlocked on day 180. And so you can process your exit vesting transaction at that time, assuming you've continued to vest for that full period. What I think is really cool about it, again, a little bit of game theory here, is if other people exit before you, you start to capture a share of the tokens that they've forfeited.
Awesome. We have lots of questions here, Michael, so I'll filter through some of them. From Torrington, when and how we will be able to become validators?
We can start opening those conversations today, as a matter of fact. And I'd be happy to schedule some calls with people in the community. Again, a big part of the Zinc presentation today is we're releasing documentation. That's going to be very valuable to anybody who wants to become a validator. We've got the bridge in testing so that we will be able to bridge back and forth between Solana and Zinc. And then this claims is really the end user origin season kind of presentation. But we can start having conversations about becoming a validator anytime after this point.
Awesome. Neil asked about the possibility of having partners from other projects within the network.
Totally.
He asks this because he is developing a personal project and he is using Solana mainnet, but if possible, he would like to migrate 100% to Zinc, and other people would like to as well.
Yeah, let's very happy to open those conversations. If you have aspirations of launching a product on Solana, or if you've already launched a product on Solana, it should actually be very simple to redeploy your program on Zinc. Jacob could probably speak to some of the technical specifics of it, but generally speaking, we're a pretty plain vanilla implementation of the Agave client that is used for Solana consensus. And so your programs should really be compatible across both networks. So happy to have those conversations. And I would extend that further to say that if you looked through the one pager that I linked earlier today, that PDF, we are allocating 60% of the token supply to ecosystem growth. Now that'll consist of a large portion going to consecutive airdrop campaigns, but it will also consist of grants and partnership allocation for people that are building. So there's an opportunity to get a z.ink allocation as part of becoming a partner and deploying a product on z.ink as well. Just one little final piece I want to touch on with that, by the way, and that is how we couple the user Z profile system, airdrop campaigns, and cross promotional opportunities with other partners on the network. So as of today, your Z profile only earns XP by engaging in all of the Star Atlas mechanics that we have available to you. Faction claims or playing Sage. Holosim had a ZXP mechanic to it, locking in the lockers, trading on the marketplace, purchasing items from the primary market. But going into the future, we're going to be able to incorporate other products into the ZXP mechanic as well. It's not going to be exclusive to Star Atlas. So let's say, for example, you're launching a DEX on the network or liquidity pools on the network. We can tie in a mechanic that lets a person earn ZXP for depositing funds into a liquidity pool. And now you can imagine how this kind of expands out to all of the different products that are operating on the network. We have the ability to essentially drive traffic to those products through the Z profile system. And then taking that one step further, and I'll kind of close out with this, is what is really powerful about the Z profile itself is that this digital identity is essentially a reputation and status system. And so as you're building up your identity and as you're engaged in the network and participating in the different mechanics that will earn you ZXP, it's a way for us to pre-qualify end users as well. And I think I've used this example in the past, but just another hypothetical example, another game is launching on the network and they would like to target z.ink users for an airdrop. However, they want these users to be a minimum of level 20, and they want them to have engaged in some other gaming products. So maybe they have used Star Atlas or played C4. And if and when we get there, we're not there yet, but when we have the zero knowledge KYC process, perhaps they want to require that that person has gone through the zero knowledge KYC so that they can validate they're a true individual user, or at least have a higher assurance that they are a true individual user. Well, using those qualifications, then that other team can even include items into the airdrop campaign in much the same way that we have the Game Pass right now with the Star Atlas products that are going to be distributed. They can include their items into that, or they can do a direct airdrop to z.ink users because they've been pre-qualified. Hopefully that all made sense.
Yeah, no, it was a good clarification, Michael. Cracker is asking, is an external bridge audition security audit planned?
Yeah, we have to. I mean, we would certainly like to do that. Currently, we're doing our own internal audits, and we're also leveraging our own AI tools to do audits. These security audits can be quite expensive, and so Jacob alluded to this. If there's an opportunity to leverage a z.ink allocation to secure an audit, we would do that. However, at this point, we're not really in a position to move forward with an outside audit on these products. Part of the reason for releasing it in the state that it's in right now, which is effectively only on the testnet, is that there's no value at risk, and we have an opportunity to identify any vulnerabilities, while it's in testing.
Awesome. Odysseus is asking, can a portion of your airdrop allocation be unlocked, or is it an all or nothing proposition?
Yeah, it's largely an all or nothing. Now, what you do get is this initial claim. And so this is how we're going to seed the first tokens into the network. It is 5% of the airdrop allocation. And so that's the 500,000 out of 10 million tokens that are allocated to it. This is pretty important because pretty much everyone who's on z.ink today participating in the z.ink Origin season is a Star Atlas user. And so again, coordinating the launch of C4 on z.ink mainnet with the Genesis event and launch of the network itself, you're going to need z.ink tokens to be able to transact and play the game. And so that's this 5% initial claim. Now, as it relates to your vesting amount, you cannot choose a portion of your vesting amount to withdraw. That is an all or nothing. Again, you can choose to exit vesting at any point over this 180-day window, but you will only receive that vested portion at that time. And the rest will be forfeit, go back into the redistribution pool, and go to other users who continue to vest.
Michael Earther is asking, so we have to receive the initial claim. Can we reinvest or restake part of that?
So yes, important to note, this is not the way that you are staking or delegating to a validator. There's no reason to hold back your initial claim. You're not getting anything extra here. So you should claim that on day one. There are no compromises that you need to make to take your initial claim. Now, once you make your initial claim, you can stake that with a validator, and then you can start earning a portion of the network inflation subsidy as well as transaction fees that are processed on the network.
Very cool. Very cool. Anyone else got other questions about z.ink? I see people typing, so let's wait for a little bit.
I see Funcracker's question here as well, and yeah, that is still the intention. We want to host some uh, like developer sessions, and so I think with the things that we're rolling out today, we'll be able to start to schedule some of those, and I can work with Jacob on pulling those events together.
Very cool. Spicy question. What about liquidity pools? Where are they planned and their size?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a pretty critical piece. As we said, z.ink is intended to be a general purpose blockchain. It's not a gaming chain. It's not just Star Atlas's blockchain. And so a big part of the process and the conversations that we'll be having getting up to the Genesis event will include recruiting partners onto the network. Now we have some options for liquidity pools on z.ink as of right now, but it's kind of the similar discussion that Jacob was having. Like, we don't necessarily want to be the operator of the bridge. That's not the ideal scenario, but it is a necessity. And so in much the same way, if it was absolutely necessary, we could even deploy our own DEX and liquidity pools onto the network. I'm hoping it doesn't have to go that way. And we're having conversations right now with people who are interested in providing that product on the network. As a fallback, though, what I think is important is with the bridge, and from our side, we intend to have um, market structure on both Solana and z.ink. And so there should be liquidity pools running on Solana for things like, say Atlas z.ink, Polis z.ink, z.ink Sol, z.ink USDC, just a couple of examples. We want that liquidity on Solana, and then you have a simple path to bridge over to z.ink. But in an ideal world, we do have our own DeFi products running on z.ink as well, and that's part of the lead up to Genesis event. Just one of the many things that we need to coordinate going to launch, is trying to bring some initial launch partners in alongside us.
Very cool. Anyone has last questions before we move in to our next topic?
I can probably tease out one more thing, and as conservative as we are with sharing dates, Jose, I'll just, I'll share one piece, which is effectively when we have confidence in the roadmap for C4, which is the very next topic that we're talking about, we're pretty locked in on the z.ink infrastructure side, right? So we're largely prepared to launch mainnet. We need C4 before we'd move forward with that. But in essence, and this is very loosely, once we have confidence in the kind of the C4 PTR process, that's going to give us a 3 to 4 month window then in which we're moving towards network genesis. And that is largely because we haven't done really any marketing on z.ink right now. It's been extremely limited. And so we need to line up the exchange partners, we need to line up the market maker, we need to line up content creators, and we need to initiate a go-to-market strategy on z.ink and start driving some interest and hype into the network. And that includes any launch partners, as I was discussing. And so without to steal any thunder from the very next topic, I think again about 3 to 4 months once we have confidence in the C4 progress is when we would anticipate a Genesis event and all of those other things happening.
Oh man, my penguin bones are trembling, feeling excited. Oh man, it's coming. All right, Michael, I think you actually brought us to a stage where we can move on to our next topic. I think everyone is now excited to learn more about C4. And maybe we could invite the person who has been driving the development of this product up to stage to give us some sought information from the community. Danny, are you here? Welcome to the stage, my friend.
Hey, y'all, how's it?
Good,
The cameras or no?
Hey, Danny.
All right.
Uh,
Hey guys. Don't want to dip out Mike again.
yeah,
I'll just keep
exactly.
going on, but
Let's keep no cameras.
yeah. All right. All good. All right. Yeah. Some information, guys. Anything we wanted to segue to C4 or good to go?
It's the main event. I think we can jump right in, Danny.
All right, let's do it. Let me screen share. Okay. Oh, okay. Is that coming through okay? Hopefully sound works too. How's that look?
I can see.
Okay,
It looks
cool.
good on my screen. I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no sound yet,
Okay.
but when we
Okay.
get in, I'm just hoping it works. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, today is finally we get to demo all at once the C4 PTR, which has been kind of a long time coming. I've been sharing some updates along the way, like little snippets here and there. But now we get to sit down and take some time and just comb through it. There's a lot here to go through, so I just kind of want to set the expectations for PTR, which means we wouldn't normally, or no studio would normally launch a game like this, because it's basically everything is available right at the front. If you're to take some sort of linear game and it's like, hey, try fighting the boss, that would be overwhelming. So this is overwhelming. I just want to set the stage because this is everything that you can do in the entire game, and it's an entire 4x game on chain, you have basically everything unlocked from the start. So that can be a lot to take in right up front. Normally, when we actually release to mainnet, you'll have the ability to take it slow, kind of get a little orientation first and get some little tutorials and onboarding guides. And you won't see all the features blasted right in your face, but this is what the PTR is for, is to be able to test this at scale. If it were a linear game, you could like have cheats, that you would jump to different portions of the game to test out different sections. That's basically what this is. All those portions are unlocked. Let's go test the section, make sure certain things work. And I've been kind of jamming on this. So a little backstory about the process of this too is a while ago we were kind of showing like the dev tools that were used for creating system designs and designs. And so those are some extremely comprehensive game design documentation that actually turned into tools that we use for this game. Now, then that was all taken and engineers put together a fully working game, which was then handed off to me. And then the past couple months or so, I've been just heads down, getting very little sleep, turning this into a comprehensive, cohesive sort of experience and putting a lot of polish to make it feel like a game. But like I said, the last step is just kind of that onboarding and tying everything together and make sure nobody gets lost just because of some UI missing pieces or something like that. That's coming for the mainnet launch. Just kind of want to set the expectations there because even in this demo, it's going to seem like a lot, but it's mostly just to kind of give an overview. So just a reminder, C4 stands for combat, crafting hubs, claim stakes, and council rank. Those are basically the new features that were already there in Starbase and earlier that make it a full 4x game, which stands for exploitation, expansion, exploration, and extermination. So now officially we have nailed every single one of those to at least a launching feature set. But obviously way more to come as we progress to the actual mainnet. So this is what you guys are coming into. Go in and jump in and play a game. I already got some profiles, but I'll show you kind of the new profile setup. So you'll come in, and if you already have some, it's quick to select between them. To create character, you would do something like whatever, only row. And then you would select your faction with a little blurb about type of gameplay you can expect. And then your wallet, there's no real wallet connection at the moment, but you'll be airdropped some soul to work with, which will be z.ink, of course. So yeah, go ahead and create profile. I don't need to do that, but as long as everything's green, good to go. So I'll just jump into mud test, and here we go. So this is the game board from the Galaxy perspective, mostly focusing on regions and who is the controlling faction of the region. So wanted a quick glance of what that looks like. I don't want too much information here, so the shapes are reduced down to like easy to read, kind of like nation states or states of a country or something like that. So the idea is here you see the Mud, Oni, Ooster regions that are currently being controlled. There's another mechanic we call blockading. So you have this initial safe zone that no enemy factions won't be able to fly into, and if they do end up in there before the expanded zone becomes very safe, they won't be able to attack you or mine around. So you'll kind of see this creeping, hopefully, if you're a successful faction, you'll see this creeping, expanding safe zone as you get more and more areas blocked off. It's not fully implemented at the moment, as you see like something like this, for example. The idea is if every warp lane is blocked by a neighboring controlled faction region, then this one becomes an expanded safe zone. So that will prevent all your combat being attacked when you don't want it. And if you don't want to participate in combat, just stay in the safe zone or the expanded safe zone and provide logistics for those who want to help expand the safe zone. Some other ideas about this zone is we have just on the map is highlighted where you see some enemy factions kind of butting up against each other. So Oni Mud here and Ooster Oni here. You'll get a little indicator of a hostile border. So that would be like where a lot of the action is most likely to be taking place, probably. We'll see. We'll see how you guys take it. So yeah, as you get a little closer, you start seeing all the different region names pop in. If you want to hone in on one, you can kind of just hide it, double click it, get some information about it. These are all the systems that are within the region. And if you wanted to pop down into them, zoom in, everything's really snappy. We spent some time making sure that that is very clean and quick, and like you can just pop right out, pop right in. There's 0 loading times. It looks really clean and optimized there. See that? Cool. So let's see. That's regions. Is there anything else to mention about that? Yeah, faction territory, star bases. Yeah, let me look at some of the. Let's see. Some of the other things on this screen. There's you can track the controlled systems from this leaderboard. There's a bunch of other command sort of panels here. I won't get too detailed here, but each one kind of has like some filtering options, inventory, fleets, crew, crafting, scans, crafting, buildings here. Crafting is a little bit different in crafting caps. So these are like ongoing crafts. Crafting caps are like the base that you can put those into. And then so like you can tab over and filter. So that's kind of like a quick way of reading of this. And if you want to keep some pinned, there's a nice way to just kind of pin it to the side there. Yeah, that's all feeling really cool and quick. Give you kind of quick command surface of your whole game, all your units, all your buildings, all your inventory, and where the inventory is at. You can even where is it in the galaxy? If you find places that you like, you save them, and then they become part of your favorites. So a lot of that is just for like ease of moving around this giant game board with I think 69 different regions and 945 systems. So in the current game, it's 52. And as those were all upgraded to tier 5, now if that system that was upgraded to tier 5 in Starbased, it's going to be owned and controlled by that faction in C4. So this map currently reflects that state. So you're already starting with a lot of regions controlled, but there are a bunch of new regions which are gray, and for the taking. So once we get going in, well, PTR, but also mainnet, then it'll be more permanent. Some other things here to pay attention to: notifications, and then some settings if you have like sound or switching your character and stuff like that. So just kind of giving a run through of like orienting yourself to this. There's a leaderboard, and I'll get to this near the end. This is a new one. This might be funny to show anyway because it's a totally new feature that just got thrown in like 2 seconds before I started demoing. But you can see this is the kind of stuff I was working with. I was handed this and then turned it into basically all of this. So it's been a lot of work.
Shots fired, dang.
I'm not saying it's
Exactly.
bad.
Man,
I'm
poor
trying
dad.
to
John worked
show.
Poor
super hard to
dad.
squeeze that in last
Yeah,
minute.
John is probably crying now in the audience. Poor John.
I mean, his job is not to make it like UI UX. His job is to make it work, and that's what I want. Give me it working, and then I'll make it fit.
Actually, Danny, you bring up a great point though, and I'm probably catching you off guard here, but man, if you have a screenshot of what you inherited, what you started working with, I think it really demonstrates just how much effort went into arriving at this final product.
Yeah, actually, that might be fun to show. Let's see if I can quickly find it. There we go. So yeah, this is some before and afters. Before, yeah. Well, I guess you guys kind of already saw the the system map and as it looks now. But let me just share. I think I have some old screenshots of what that used to look like. Does anybody else have that? Let me see if I can find it. I did kind of want to pull that up because it is pretty striking.
Yeah, I mean, just anecdotally, it was pretty funny. I was on a call with Arthur, and I don't want to jump ahead of you on the features, but there's a support and feedback and bug reporting mechanic directly in the client, and he was showing me the work that he was doing on his branch, but it was using like you hadn't merged all of the work that you were doing back to main, and I was like, man, it's just such a stark difference between where we started and where we are right now with this. So
Yeah, man, a little buried. It's been a while. I found one. Okay, check it out. So actually, I'd already started changing a little bit on this, but here is the before. That's what the game looked like when it was handed over to me, and that's fine. This is perfectly acceptable. I'm not trying to rip on it. This is, can you see that?
yeah, we see it.
Okay, yeah. This is a working state. Like here's the asteroids, here's all the planets, warp gates, and star bases and stars in the background, and warp lanes. Oh yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah, that's what warp lanes used to look like, and the command panels and everything. And this is the upgrade. So boom, and that's maybe the same. No, 23 King. Okay. But anyway, yeah, this is what the game looks like now. Your sun, these are asteroid belts. You can kind of see them. They're light. They're not super. Let me see. You can see more over here. Asteroid belts, star bases, warp lanes are more subtle, more smoky kind of thing. But yeah, so from my perspective, I mean, I've been playing on like I got a MacBook Air on the side, and this machine's a little more powerful, but it's been staying optimal throughout this. We've been doing performance optimizations throughout as well, keeping a high frame rate. Here's 60 frame rate cap. It rarely ever dips. Only when like things are loading on it quickly, it might get a little spike, but then it goes back to 60. So that's been like we've been pretty sensitive to that. And it feels really good. Like I said, you can just zoom in and out. It's 945 systems, and it all just is like super quick and responsive, as you see, like zero delay. So yeah, fun to see the before and after, because yeah, it's been a lot of work. Okay, let me get back to the channel here. So cool. That's kind of the main view here. I have some quick buttons here I'd put just if you want to go straight to CSS, but you can also double click and then jump in and go back to region and back to system. Just put in some updates here. A new way of seeing a lot of ships because there's probably gonna be a lot of fleets going around here. So everything's got like this nice, cool new render, new warp gates, new CSSs, new star bases. You get a quick call out of all your fleets and enemy fleets that aren't in the system. You see the HUD of their status. Same with all the star bases. A quick scan of the playing field, and then of course the warp lanes connecting everything. And you can just at this level you can also just like scrub around and see what's going on. Right now there's no enemies here. This is a safe zone, but yeah, some of my fleets here hovering over, you can kind of see a quick status of the HPSBAP, the cargo fuel and ammo as well, and you can click into it and get the real detailed sense here. Actually, here, and if you want to get zoomed in, you just kind of click like that. And then, well, while I'm here, I got some fleets already set up. This is the fleet action panel. So anything that is doable right now should appear, but there will be more if you're in different areas. For example, let's see. Yeah, here. There's more to do when you're at the actual starbase. But let me see if I have any cargo. Yeah, so you pop open your cargo, and then some other items you can do. Scanning all the different scan types. I don't know if I want to start a scan right now. Let's see. Does it work? I might not have the right setup for it. Oh, there it is. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Nothing. Okay, so now there's a cooldown. There's also while I'm here on this, you can kind of see the stats. Like if you want to get the detailed stats, here's cargo, the ships that'll be in your fleet, and then all the major stats you want to pay attention to when composing these fleets. And let's go ahead and move around a bit. So first off, subwarp. Let's see how long is it going to take. 27 seconds. So subwarping's fun. Got this little follow feature and nice new effects. This is how long it's going to take. If you look really close, you can see some streaking stars going by as well, which let me see, you can lock and unlock. And yeah, it's actually pretty fun to see these things moving around the map. Let's see if we can get a warp going and see how much faster that is. But it's got to spool up. So zoom in. Oh, it's got this cool like spooling VFX now, and the sound. If you, I don't know, can you guys hear that sound?
Yep, we hear it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then faster streaks, warping. Then let's see. Oh shoot, I gotta let the cooldown. Let me see if I can take something else. And then there's warp gates. I think I have everything ready for this. Might go too fast, so I couldn't even follow in time. So, warp gates are a little OP right now. No, follow. It shifted. Okay, let's do this again. And boom, there we go. So that's a warp gate. So you see the difference in speed, and it's like you're gonna to get a warp gate, you own the start and destination systems, and then now you can access the warp gate. So this should still be following, and then yeah, and you see how much faster it is to cover that much amount of space is just insane right now compared to like warping or anything. Now you have access to the system that quick. Freaking crazy. Well, I'm here and I can like mine. So if I want to look at some of these asteroid fields that are at this location, and then I would start mining, and then you can choose up to 8 of them, and mine those simultaneously. So ships are for mining asteroid fields, And then on planets for mining is the claim stakes. Let's see. There was something else since we're playing with fleets. I sent off some enemy fleets to meet here. Aha, they're here. It took an hour and a half for these fleets to get together. So I created some on another account and then have this one, but let's get in range. That range. Let me see. Let me just really get in range. Okay. And then I'll take a minute. So we got my mud fleet here, and we got 2 fleets, and you can kind of inspect them. Clicking on an enemy fleet, you can see the cargo. You can also follow enemy fleets too, or any fleet on the map. So if they're moving around, it's kind of fun to see what's going on. It also will show their destination. Oh, that's something I could be fun to show. So destination, when you're warping, shows it here, and if you click it, it'll zoom in. But yeah, clicking on this guy, and you can also inspect the same way and see if you're actually stand a chance. But when you go into combat, it actually does give you an idea if you're gonna stand a chance. So this is something I haven't been able to test because as you see, it's super hard. It took an hour and a half for both of them to meet in the middle. So I flew it all the way from here to there, all the way from here to there. And let's see, you can kind of see this tiny little ship. I don't know if you can see that little streak moving.
I see. It's super cool, man.
So they still do show. So once we get a lot of activity, then it should be fun to watch, like this kind of movement. But yeah, I don't know if I have everything set up correctly to actually have an engagement here, but let's try. So now the attack button appears because this one is available, and it says I have an 84% chance to win. Okay, let's check out the stats of this guy. All right, sure. Go look at all that. Is that meme? Thanks for writing all that, but let's just try attacking. Oh wait, let's look at the targets. This is much more interesting when there's a lot, but it's the only target right now. So same thing here, view stats. Okay, that one's selected. It's ready to attack. So let's see what happens. No, I don't know. Copy paste that and put it in and see what it means. I don't know. It didn't work. So I got ammo and everything, so it's not working. Anyway, that's combat. So when that works, it's actually really cool because you get like cool lasers and explosions, and that all looks nice as well. It's all upgraded. You can also attack star bases, and they'll appear on this list of targets in their own section as well when you're in range. Let me see. No, that's it. That's an enemy. Let's see if I can get. I'll send something. What's the nearest? I'll send something to this reach. Let's see if I can attack that. Probably be the same error, but I'll come back to this at the end of the demo. Let's see. He's spooling up, and then he's gonna zip over. But until that happens, we'll let that go. Until we go into the CSS. So there's a lot going on still, and yeah. Oh, that one's going now. Let's see, which one is it? Warping. Follow. Only 10 seconds. All right. Cool. So the spooling is there because we don't want people just like, I don't know, doing Riker maneuvers or just getting out of dodge, like with a quick warp out and avoiding conflict. But yeah, it's still really quick once you get going. And then there's a long cooldown. All right, let's see if we can attack this starbase. Oh, cool. It did attack, but there's no lasers. What the heck? Oh, it came from outer space. All right, so You see, this is PTR. So we'll get those kinds of reports and then copy paste and fix them as they come along. But I successfully launched the laser into Starbase.
That was super cool, man.
But we'll get the starting ribbon. I guess it's taking the destination or the origination from where it was, and zapping it. Some high energy beams. Okay, so that's it for combat. One of the C4s.
Can we do the attack once more? Danny, sorry to ask you, but people are asking in the chat.
Attack again.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Starbase attacked. Let's see it.
So cool to
there
see
you
the
go.
shield
Like,
taking the damage. Super
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, cool. Look at the AP went down. So you got
Yeah.
like, wait, why did my shields go down? I take like collateral damage.
They Starbase struck you back.
All right. Literally 0 damage. I don't know what's going on. Okay. It's a damage myself. We'll figure it out. Anyway, it looks pretty. Okay, back to the CSS. Like I said, there's lots to go still. Ships I also added recently. They're much bigger, so you can see like a bigger difference in size from XXS to capital, and I think I had a. Oh no. Okay, it's in here. Well, let me see if I can undock. No, I got to respawn. Okay. So I self-destructed because I ran out of gas. And okay, let's go into Starbase. So this one's a tier 6. Obviously, it's already fully upgraded. It's the CSSs; those are the only ones that are tier 6. This is kind of the basic summary. Here's some of the inventory that I already have on board. Here's all the planets. You can see some. There's this particular system has 4 warp gates, 7 celestial bodies, 195 resources. Average of 2% richness on those resources, and then some of my fleets, as well as some crafting progress going on. One of the things here about the planets you might want to pay attention to if you're interested in claim stakes is the population. So it is a finite amount of plots per planet. So it used to be infinite in the designs, but now each one's finite. However, as you upgrade the tier of these star bases, the plots go up by I think about like 10k per tier. I don't know if that's the final numbers, but anyway, as these things get full, you'll get like more visualization of the changing populations. And this is already fully maxed out, but you can kind of see like what would have gone into building this out. And just quickly I can do a comparison, and going from tier 1 to tier 2, Starbase upgrading happens here. So if you bring a fleet over and some crew, all right, I got one here, and then you say, well, I need to put some alloy frames, and we need 20,000. It's only 80 so far, and then it kind of walks you through like how to do that, putting crew on your ship to offload the cargo, and then putting crew on the Starbase to help process it and install it. And then that works towards upgrading towards tier 5, because tier 6 is only for the CSSs. So just kind of a quick look at the new Starbase upgrading section. Back here, a lot of the place that you would probably get started in real C4 is at the port of entry, where you bring stuff in from your wallet, or take them out. So it's just this process of like, here you go. I want these in my actual game, which is the Starbase, or back to the wallet, and then you can withdraw. And you can do both at the same time. There's a limitation here where you can only do like 4 items at a time, because it's like actually doing like wallet to game stuff. But once you're in the game, everything else is like really quick to transfer. After you get like some things put into the Starbase inventory, like ships and everything, Next possible place is probably the form fleet. So you want to create a new fleet, and I want to keep working on this form. I've probably reworked it 7 different times, trying to make it as simple and quick and easy to understand as possible. But I'm not 100% happy yet. I want to do stuff like transferring over 50% and stuff like that. So still more refinement to come. But anyway, this is kind of how it works. So you want to put a ship on here. Let's just drop some ships. This is also a place you can change your ship configs, but we can go more in that a little bit. Fuel, same thing. Ammunition, kind of drop those in. Food. This is what I mean. Like I kind of want to do like a halfy kind of thing. So you don't just like blow out your cargo hold. So it's a bit. This is the part that gets a little weird, and I've proposed some solutions. Maybe we can have a food module and repair module instead of having them part of the cargo hold, and then it kind of works the same as these, which are really easy to understand. But we'll see where that goes over time. But yeah, like you see, you can put other kind of cargo in there, and let's see, what else can fit? Some drones. So yeah, there's kind of a fleet that you would set up. I don't need 16,000 drones in there, or let's just remove that. Let's just let's add something with a cool icon. Let's see. I gotta go through and do all these icons. Okay, let's put 10 luminite on there, so you have a nice, cool icon in the fleet, and some hydrogen. Okay, so give it a name, Ghost Jaguar, whatever. Obsidian Jaguar, even better. And then these are your fleet limitations. I'll get into that when we do council rank. This will take you to like, hey, I need more than a Titan, so I need to upgrade, but that's not how that should work. This is quote unquote God mode, so everything kind of unlocked just for testing purposes. I don't want to reset it, but as you build this, you can kind of see these pods going up, and I got a ton of cargo space left. I'm not going to fill it up right now, but these chips that I showed you before, a resource warning on combat. This is not ready for combat, it seems. Oh, maybe it's the repair. Let's try to max fleet. There we go. Combat is now in a light position. You don't really want to send your evac and your air bike into combat. So, but now we got full cargo pod, and if you want to see the detailed stats to why all that adds up to being, this is a light fleet that can handle light freight, light combat, light mining, and pretty good scanning, actually. Very good. So this would be a really great scanning ship. And yeah, you can get pretty detailed. Little stylization updates coming there too. But that's good to have. And let's see, form the Obsidian Jaguar fleet. And then, cool, that worked. And it comes up here with the rest of your dock fleets. And you just undock. Let's get this one undocked as well. Super Phoenix. And then you see those in undocked. Also, oh, I meant to manage. But anyway, the manage is similar form. So those are ready. Those are undocked. Before I go back out to see those, some other thing that you can, if you really get into the end game stuff, that's where the configs come in. And so we have this whole dedicated config bay for all the different types of configurations that you can do for this ship. So right now it's the Armstrong Imp, and you kind of just click through them, I think. Yeah, these are just your ships. Excuse me. And then you kind of poke through the different ship configurations. So if I wanted to upgrade to tier 2, you'd be able to see like, here's what changes. You get this much more hull strength, and all these different items change as you switch config. And so you'll be able to see if it's worth it. Do I need to do all this? Do I want to? and what do I need to get there, and that's where these requirements step will also show. I'm going to add some more like UX wires. So like, oh, I need a power core capital size tier 3 for this. So I'm going to click that and then or favorite it, and then it'll kind of show in the crafting areas or like different resources that are needed to get that, and then just you can more easily line things up to know what you need to go after out and about in the world or in the galaxy. So yeah, these are all the ship stats as well and how they change with configurations. Like I said, it's kind of in-game content, but if you want an edge, you'll see how these numbers change. And it's going to be quite needed in a lot of instances if you're, on the forefront or the frontier of the galaxy here. Respawn, pretty straightforward. This is where the fleets are shown. I probably should have shown it before when I had something to respawn. But it's just like fleet cards, like here or here. And then you go and respawn. Inventory, pretty straightforward. Information about each item here, the little stats around it that are useful. And then again, it kind of shows like what would I need to craft or what does it go into crafting. So like, see any of these, and kind of show what this, I don't know if all the information's fully surfaced at the moment, but basically it's like, what does alloy frame craft towards and what do I need to craft it? And there's like all sorts of connections there. So wanted to be a little more comprehensive on the inventory. And then on the crafting fabrication page, first off, obviously, if you set it to like what's ready, what can I actually craft right now, then you have these items, seeing a quick diagram of what is available to make. You can add craft amounts and crew and then begin fabrication. But if it's not ready, and you can kind of see it too when you like quickly hover over, but let's hop into one. You can see I don't have any of the parts here. So let's dig down. So you dig down and it's okay, now I need a fusion defense matrix. And what does that need? It needs fusion catalyst deposits, which is actually a base resource. So I can't click down any further. But this one, I would need emerald crystals, phase shift crystals to make a defense crystal ray. And yeah, and these are base level resources that you would be able to find directly mining anything, planets, asteroids, all that. So it's a nice quick way to kind of like browse crafts, and then you have your bays actively crafting, and you'll see the list populate there. And to get more of those bays, that's where crafting habs comes in, another one of the C's. And I've got a few in here now, but basically, if let's see, no, not that. Oops. Let me wanted to show placing a new craft. There we go. I don't know why that button goes away. So yeah, if I place a new craft, then you have or crafting hab. So you have these different options, tier 1 through 5. This one's I have no tier 5 in this account, so it says missing, and then it shows like some stats around that specific tier of crafting hab. But I'm not going to place anything right now because I've got some placed, and so let's just look at this crafting hab tier 2, and this is where you go in and you design by adding more slots. This is very similar to claim 6, so I'll get into this as well. So I'll add parts to it that I already can either have access to or have the parts that are needed to craft these extensions. And that's kind of what it looks like. And then you boost, and here's the excuse me, I need some water.
Yeah, sorry, Danny.
Jose's slacking here, supposed to
Exactly.
remind you.
I'm still learning. Sorry, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so those are the boosts of stats that you get. And then you can kind of move it around. And you can see like there's some adjacency bonuses that we're going to include later. So you might want to like make them closer or whatever. But that's not fully in right now. It's just kind of a visualization. And then if you want to put a pet house as a joke, all these parts aren't actually going to be improving. The design is not fully matched up with the with the design doc. But anyway, got a pet house, and then you apply that, and that's your crafting hab. And now you got a new bay to do some feeless crafting over in the fabrication section. So let's not do that right now. Then claim stakes, again, very similar. And these are all the planets in the system. Again, population. Here's all the resources on that planet that you can get by placing down the claim stakes. And then just some information about how many plots there are and how many plots there will be total, how many are available. And again, you actually, no. So this isn't fully comprehensive. Actually, you can put 10,000 of each type of claim stake. So I'll make that a bit clearer. So yeah, if I go into, this planet, I already have a couple of claim stakes down. But again, placing a new claim stake, and it's similar. Choose your tier. You got some information about it. Put some rent in here. That's going to last me 58 million days. So maybe not that much. And these are the resources. I'm going to break that up a little more, but these are the resources that you can get from there. And like I said before, I probably want to have it where you can flag things that you're looking for, and then it'll show up like, hey, I've got this one flagged. So I want to place a claim stake here on this ice giant. But don't need to do that because I already have some. Here you can just click over to buildings, but there's some nice easy buttons there. Yeah, basically the same thing, but it's broken up into, you got your command core, extraction network, processing network, farming network, and storage network. So everybody needs a core hub. Placing that down, and these are things that you need for it. You can add some crew quarters. Again, adjacency bonuses are coming. Power plant, and you see it start to fill up the slots, and the size of these actually also represents the slots that they take up. So they like have this like little 2.5D effect, and you're filling up a capacity, or slot capacity, which is also based on the tier of the hub and the claim stake. So let's say if I wanted to do some extraction, so you got to put down the extraction hub and then get some aluminum ore. So now this would give me aluminum ore if I were to apply it and set it and just start processing the aluminum ore. However, if I wanted aluminum ore, it would start extracting that. But if I wanted to process that into something else, then I create a processing hub. And then I don't think I have anything else. So if I want an aluminum processor, I can't build it. So it's red. And then if I were to build this whole thing out, see, I still need these things. Then all of a sudden I'm getting automatically aluminum ore and aluminum all at once loaded into the cargo here on this claim stake. So that's the big beauty of claim stakes is auto crafting, and it gets pretty intense as you upgrade. There's a lot more available. This is like a tier 2. So there's obviously tier 5s, and a lot of different things get unlocked as you do that. There's like farm hubs, which give, I think, just biomass.
And Danny, just a quick note on the econ side as well, I think worth mentioning is that you're not going to be paying crafting fees for the items that are processed through claim stakes because you're using your own facility. You're not, taking advantage of a star-based crafting facility.
It's a weird snap. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, a lot of value towards the economy by building some really robust claim stakes. And like I said, the adjacency bonuses are going to start taking effect probably from mainnet. But yeah, these things can get extremely expansive because, you know, like tier 5s can have way more slots, way more modules. I think you have multiple hubs too. Let's see here. Yeah, multiple hubs and all sorts of things. So have fun poking around. But again, like some of these things are going to be more refined over time. And that's the purpose of getting us to this point. And we can jump in and kind of poke around. So for now, let's just cancel that. That was C3. So we have combat, crafting abs, plain stakes, and now the last bit is council rank. So here's kind of a quick look. I already have God mode on, so everything's already working. I mean, everything's already bypassed at the moment. But a lot of things won't be available right at the start because that's how any game should be played, right? I mean, you kind of want to earn it. It feels more valuable when you spend time earning it rather than just unlocking. I've been playing creative mode with my son on Minecraft, and then once I introduced survival mode, he's like, "This is way more fun." You know, he's having like a blast and like fighting zombies and hiding in the house and stuff. It's just, it's a more rewarding experience for a gamer. So, oh, interesting. Some new stuff just came in. Yeah, Joseph's been updating this. So I'm just seeing this for the first time. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's interesting. But anyway, yeah, so you go into the council rank, and these are all the things you want to pay attention to unlock. And I'm going to have call outs everywhere. Like I said, the upgrade. If you can't do it yet, here's why, you know, in other places of the game. And here's where you go to upgrade. You go, okay, well, I need my fleet size, or let's do fleet slots. Yeah. But this got changed. Okay, that's fine. So let's say I can only have like 5 ships in my fleet. I need more. We'll have a CTA to kind of take you here, and you can kind of see, what do I need? All right, I already got this. I got that. I got this, and this is what's going to cost. So I'll start the research. I'm already in God mode, so it doesn't matter. Then you go to the next one. Hey, you need tier 1 before you get tier 2. But here's what you get when you get to tier 2. And here's the cost, and etc. And then this will be unlocked to be able to actually research it. And then now you got plus 16 fleet size. So that's all in here. It's fun to explore, and you can just kind of go back and up and down everywhere. See, claim stakes. Yeah, same thing there. Fleet slots, fleet concurrency. So if you want to like bunch of extra fleets. So it's fun to kind of click around, and as things upgrade, then you'll get like golden nodes as they get fully upgraded. So the goal is to like turn everything golden at the moment. I saw some suggestions of like some other ways of displaying that, but right now that's what it is. And so make everything green and gold, and then your max council rank level. So the idea behind council rank 2 is as you're playing and you, like say, piloting around, you get XP for warping and moving and getting pilot XP. As you fully upgrade one level of pilot, that counts towards the council rank points, but you have to do that 6 times. So if I did it 6 times of pilot XP levels, now I get 1 point in the council rank that you can spend on any one of these nodes, depending on how much they cost. So council rank points. 6 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people who are playing all sorts of different things. It's any one of these aggregate leveling up goes towards 1 mega council rank point that you spend and try to get to the total fully upgraded council rank level. So yeah, there's all these other Oh, ship size moved here now. That's fine. Yeah, Joseph's been like setting this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's proper. It's gonna follow most of what you see in the SES, the Sage Editor Suite stuff for research nodes. But yeah, each career has their own set of nodes. Data queue. Okay, it's all piecing together in real time. PTR. So cool. Yeah, you can go ahead and poke through that. So anyway, if something's not working, one of the things, the first check, do you have the council rig unlocked? We'll make that all kind of clear over time. The other thing is like, do I have Atlas in my Starbase inventory or in your actual character account? And then it's usually like a missing resource, like crew or fuel or something like that. But again, we'll make that all clear as you play, so you could just kind of have fun and don't have to remember all this stuff. Yeah, so that was the last C4. That was Council Rank, and let's take the. Do I have any fuel here? I don't have any fuel. Shoot. Super Phoenix. Yeah, you can see that the sizing of these ships have changed a bit. So looks pretty cool. All right. I don't think there's anything else to show. That's kind of like super quick version of everything, but still took forever.
Danny, we didn't cover the 5th C cultivation claims.
Ah, that's right. All right. Do you want to take that one?
I can. Do you anything else you want to cover, I guess, before I jump in on cultivation claims?
No, I mean, like I said, these I kind of showed
yeah.
these at first, but now these are kind of populating now, as you see. But yeah, this becomes a little more relevant now that you know all the different parts to it, and everything's kind of ready to go.
Yeah. NDR actually brought up a good point. Can you just show off the bug reporting?
Oh yeah,
pipeline?
cool. So you hop into here, and then anything that you need to report, click on Help and Support, and then there's a few different forms. Whoops, a few different forms that you could give us feedback, request a feature, report a bug, or just contact some knowledge base and community reports as well. That's all nicely integrated. Thank you, Arthur. So that's all ready to deploy. And what I was saying about before, when we would do this kind of phase, it's like, oh man, now we're about to get inundated with all sorts of reports and stuff. And yes, that's going to happen. However, now it's kind of like, yes, give us as much feedback as you can. Give us bugs, give us UX, give us every single possible thing you can get to us, because now it's like we have super intelligent mega coders working with us on the back end that love this kind of stuff and will just keep improving the product to make it what everyone wants it to be. So I'm really looking forward to this phase. It's been extremely effective in this past couple months. And by the end of this phase, it's going to be maybe totally different of an experience. But at least we have the really solid framework to go, oh, hey, here's a suggestion. Okay, I know where to put that. Boom. Now it's there. Now it's all like easily an enhancement rather than like, yeah, we know what's missing. Yeah. We'll go build it. You know, it's a totally different kind of approach now. And the more we get the feedback, the more it's just you're going to see the improvements just come in rapid succession. So it's pretty exciting what we're going into now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's well known, but we had an all-out sprint over the last 5 days or so. I think we released this to the SAC server, which some of you are familiar with, and there was a ton of reporting. So a big thank you to everyone who was in the SAC server participating in the early play test under kind of a lot of pressure, given the short timeline before the town hall. And I think it's really cool, though, seeing just how much our team was able to fix over that very short period. And a lot of that is because of the new agentic workflows throughout the company. So having a full backlog of bugs, of user issues, of feature requests, of quality of life improvement requests, having that backlog now is something that we can just rapidly burn through with with everybody being empowered with their own personal agent right now. Really cool to see. I actually think it's one of the big opportunities that we have with the release of this product is being able to showcase just how quick we can work, even given the smaller team size that we have. But yeah, Larinor saw it firsthand, and ironically, there was almost no communication from from our team in that testing channel, but we were just picking up on all of the reports that they were making and jamming out fixes. So let me do this, Danny. I mean, you've got one more piece to cover. NDR. Yes, there's a daily check-in. I don't know if you want to go into that, Danny. The daily check-in process.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not much right now. That was implemented pretty early on, but yeah, you just kind of check in. Let's see if you view your character. You can see your streak. I don't remember what the bonuses are right now. It's like literally the first thing that was kind of processed. But yeah, we should probably put something in there. But yeah, pretty quick.
So before you cover your last piece, I just want to touch on cultivation claims. It is a concept that we brought up years ago now, but cultivation claims will be a new gameplay loop in C4. They're going to function very similar to the way that claim stakes function. The big distinction is you'll be producing different resource outputs with your cultivation claim, and the economic loop of cultivation claims is that the organic resource output from cultivation claims will go into specific recipes that produce consumables. Those consumables are going to be things like stims that you can put on crew, that you can put on fleets. And I don't know exactly what all of the stim recipes will do, but just as an example, could be something like reinforced hull that improves your shields for an hour if you use that stim. So effectively, if you want to be a cultivator claim operator, you'll be producing consumable items that people purchase from you, consume them, get the buffs. Those wear off over time, and that's the complete loop. So I think that's it in a nutshell. Not really too much more to add on to that right now. It can go a lot deeper in the future in the way that cultivation starts from seeds and the types of perhaps seeds that you need to gather from scanning, for example. In fact, I don't know if you went through scanning, Danny, in the new scanning patterns, but you did. Okay, I might have missed that part. But getting access to different recipes might require you going out and scanning and then discovering a seed that lets you produce a particular recipe. So I think it gets pretty deep, and it in and of itself could be a loop that people just want to focus their entire effort on.
I, for myself, am looking forward to the day we can get some mini flowers cultivated in our claims. It's going to be super interesting.
Yeah. So Danny, I think the big question is when do we plan on releasing this to people?
It's available now.
Yeah. So you guys can get out there and start playing
Hey!
right now.
Let's go.
Yeah. There you go.
Time to pour the whiskey.
This one might be a couple branches behind, but yeah, here we go. Launching today.
It's
C4.
live, boys.
It's live.
Yeah.
Go.
This is huge. I will maybe just preface It is
Steady.
still a little bit rough.
Steady.
No. I mean, this is just again setting expectations. Like, it might be a little bit rough. You're going to encounter some bugs. Some things won't work. Some transactions will fail. But that's the purpose of the PTR. We want to gather your feedback. We want to understand your feature requests. We want to make improvements alongside you on this product. And so this is your opportunity to get involved, to start playing, to learning the game, sharing your feedback with us. And we're going to be rapidly burning through any bugs and making hourly or by the minute improvements and fixes to this. So this is the culmination of really years of work, and super excited.
Could I jump in here real quick? Just a little update. I hit a little snag on the Unreal release. I didn't realize that Epic has to review every release before they push it live. So it has been submitted for review by Epic. I understand it might take a couple hours. It might take a day or two. So I really have no idea when it's going to go live. We'll just let you guys know.
Thanks, Brad.
I think people will take it easy on you, Brad. Now they have C4 PTR to play with.
All right. That takes the pressure off.
Yeah, don't worry.
Cool. All right.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
can't wait to hear all the feedback. There's going to be lots, and there's lots to do. But like I said, that's what we want. We want a tsunami of feedback so we can get it all in the game. Let's go.
Well,
Yeah,
excellent, excellent work there. Yeah, let's get some W's in the chat, guys.
Yeah, for sure. We deserve some W's in the chat. Super exciting. This is a day we all longed for.
I think we should take some questions as well. I also just wanted to address a question that was asked earlier in the presentation about the XP from Sage Labs, so from Starbased. There is a formula. We will be carrying XP over, and so you will benefit of having a booster to your council rank and points and XP that you can allocate out when the game launches on mainnet. Not relevant right now. Essentially, the whole wallet creation process works very similar to HoloSim right now. So your account is bootstrapped with a certain amount of assets and inventory. You can import those through the port of entry, and then you can start playing the game. Things like God mode are activated right now, so you can essentially unlock everything and get access to every feature. But just wanted to reaffirm that when we do go to mainnet, for everyone who's been playing Sage and earning your XP in Sage, that will carry over in some capacity based on a formula that we're going to come up with. Am I cutting out again?
No, that all came through. Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's see.
I'm sure people have lots of questions. Michael, I saw some questions about z.ink XP for the PTR.
Yeah, we don't have it just yet, but it is something we've talked about, and I absolutely do want to add ZXP mechanics to the PTR. We'll work on that as quickly as we can. I'll perhaps also emphasize John's announcement from, I think it was just yesterday, but with all of the releases today, we are effectively shifting the team fully into C4 PTR work. We are delaying or postponing any additional work on HoloSim at this time, including any phase 2 of combat in HoloSim. And so we are shutting down the HoloSim ZXP earnings mechanics. That's tomorrow at, I know it's 5 p.m. Pacific time. I think that's 11 UTC. But or midnight, actually, midnight UTC. But in any event, yes, we'll add ZXP mechanics for participating in HoloSim, or excuse me, in C4.
Awesome. Michael, some questions in the chat about the economy, the recipes, and etc. This is not final at any capacity, right? We are basically testing different
Yeah,
strategies
that
and
definitely. Yeah. I consider everything in the game right now to be largely placeholder. Now, some of it might hold. I mean, we put some thought into recipes and formulas already, but a big part of the testing is making sure that all of the gameplay mechanics work, functionally work, and then a second part is balance between combat, between ship configuration, between recipes, all of that. So yes, expect substantial changes, and if you have feedback on it, please report it to us.
Michael, another thing that we were discussing actually last week, was about the future of C4. And you spoke a little bit about this on the brew, that you are looking forward for police integrations in the C4 ecosystem, not necessarily in the PTR, but in the next stages. Maybe you could very quickly, very briefly touch on this again to talk about some police utility as well.
Yeah, and just to set context, I mean, Danny mentioned with the release of this feature set, we now functionally have a 4x, a full 4x game. With that said, this is this is not the final form of the Sage product. There's still a lot of things that we're going to be adding over time. I happen to be on I joined a brew I think 2 weeks ago, and I mentioned the installing democracy module, and so I think that's worth covering with the wider audience here. Something I really am excited about, and um, uh, and I guess again, just to step back, throughout the history of the company, we've needed to balance our efforts across many different facets, and that includes all of the gaming products that we're working on, but it also includes our like tokenomic development. Things like the DAO, for example, that pulled team resources away from focusing on any of the game products so that we could release the DAO and give utility to the tokens through the lockers and through the marketplace discounts and things such as that. And so with C4 PTR rolling out, of course, we're going to focus a lot of energy on fixing bugs and getting it into a polished state. But one of the next things I want to rotate our attention to are tokenomic enhancements. And so that would include efforts going into the Atlas Locker addendum that we released last year, as well as this installing democracy module. As I said, something I'm pretty excited about, but in essence, what the module would do is players would first need to upgrade a star base, probably their king system, to a tier 5 in any region that they want to operate in. Once they reach tier 5, it will unlock this democracy module, and then players can collectively work on it as a quote unquote mega project and build out the democracy module. Once that's installed on your starbase, you unlock regional governance systems in the game. What that largely looks like at inception, and how we're conceptualizing it right now, is uh, it's a function of your Panaculum DAO or existing DAO PvP and crew members. And so when you have that module, you can use your PvP and allocate that throughout the game to any system that has this democracy module. And doing so also is coupled with crew requirements. Now, the example I used, and this is not a final number, but just for say, for example, you have 1 million PvP and you want to assign that to one of these democracy modules, you would need something like 10,000 crew to serve as your diplomats at that location. And that's a way that we can couple game asset ownership um, and align incentives of game asset ownership with participation of in-game governance. Now, why would you want to allocate your PvP to these different systems? It's because it's a way for us to unlock a form of fee rev sharing out to the players, and that would be on a proportional basis. So if you have 1 million PvP at a star base and there's 10 million total PvP allocated to that star base, you would get 10% of all of the fee capture, which would come in the form of all of the existing in-game like revenue mechanics that already exist. So that's if people are crafting at that star base, if they're respawning at that star base, if they're I, I don't know, just anything that generates a fee in game at that location. A portion of that fee then gets carved out and goes to the players who have their PvP allocated with the diplomats in place at the starbase. And there's a couple of different ways that the fee could be managed, and that could be a vote on whether or not the fee comes out of the total fee that currently goes to the DAO. And I want to reinforce here, all in-game revenue currently is funneled 100% to the DAO. So like when you're crafting in Sage and you pay your 7% fee, that goes entirely to the DAO. What we could do is one of two options. One would be you can vote to take a portion of that, say up to 2.5% of the 7% could be allocated out to players, or you could vote to add a fee on top. This is why it's very important that we have incentive alignment with the people actually playing the game, because if you strictly hold polis and you have a high PvP, well, you would be entirely motivated to vote to have the fees at that starbase as high as possible, because that maximizes your revenue. But if you're a player and you utilize that starbase yourself and you craft at that starbase, you might decide that you want to vote to reduce the fees as low as possible to impact you less in your operations. At and in turn sacrificing any revenue share that you might capture from it. So again, just thinking about player alignment and making sure that the people who are in the game, playing the game, who own assets are the ones that are ultimately deciding on this regional governance system. And then one extension of that, hypothetical extension of that, would be being able to do things like use the pool of fees that are generated to employ or hire security patrols. So let's say you're at one of the frontier star systems. It's where a lot of economic activity takes place. You've set up all of your claim stakes there. You don't want to lose that star base, and you don't want to lose that region, because everything that you have at that star base would then be destroyed and reset back to your CSS. And so instead of taking a revenue distribution from fee capture, you decide to hire security forces, NPCs, that patrol the starbase and help you or your faction protect that area. I see Jacob in the audience, and interestingly enough, it was a concept that I brought up on one of our calls, and he pretty much jammed out the proof of concept over a weekend. So I don't know if he wants to come up and talk at all about it, but it's something that I think we can rapidly add on here. And I'm personally really excited about the additional in-game utility that we can add to Polis, and then through the Atlas Locker addendum, start adding additional utility to Atlas as well. Did I cover everything for you there, Jose?
Yes, you did, Michael. I for one find this one of the most exciting things. The political layer of Star Atlas is fascinating. If anything else, can't wait until we get this integrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think this will take too long, since Jacob already got things underway. Exciting. We got something else to share today, right, Michael? We need to celebrate this moment with some new stuff for the community as well, right?
We do. I've got a GIF here that I'm going to share in chat. So we are launching today with all of the products. We're going to run a little promotional sale. So we are going to be introducing those cultivation claims that I mentioned. In fact, Jose, if you haven't done it yet, we can make the announcement. Sure. With all of the details, but we're going to be releasing a limited quantity of cultivation claims from tier 1 to tier 5, alongside two new ships, the Vizus Arma, which is a small fighter ship, as well as the Calico Flat Top, which is a capital freighting ship. We'll list all of the prices and quantities in that announcement. It is limited supply. We are doing a pretty deep discount here. So we looked at OMO pricing of comparable game assets. We've discounted that back by an additional 25%. And then we're layering in on top of that crew starter packs. So, and the value of the crew starter pack is effectively a 20% bonus, so of the amount that you're spending. So, again, we'll release the details of that. Last point on the cultivation claims is that they don't have support in C4 yet. C4 doesn't even have any real economic activity yet, as it is just the PTR. But the cultivation claims are going to be usable in faction claims. They will function identically to your claim stakes. So if you have a cultivation claim tier 3, for example, it will produce R4 for you at the same rate that a claim stake tier 3 will produce. So just a way to get early access to those cultivation claims, if that's something that you're interested in. The fighter fleet, which has new utility, or the fighter ship, I should say, that has new utility in C4 and the flat top.
Super exciting. Can't wait to get myself some claims, like cultivation claims. Anything else,
Yes.
Michael, that we are missing here?
No, I think that's largely it. We should point out there is a new C4 PTR chat channel that's under the discussion category. So for anybody that wants to engage in conversation there as you're playing through the PTR, that's a good spot to jump in and have those conversations. Thank you, Jindo, for setting that up for us. And I'm just looking through the chat here. I'm happy to take one or two additional questions if we have any before we close things down here.
Let's see. New ship stats, Michael. We'll be posting those later.
New ship stats for the Vizu Sarma and the Calico Flat Top. It should be
Yes.
on the marketplace when those listings go live, and we can probably. I'm actually quite sure that John's already updated Galaxy. I think with that information. So, but we can probably add that to the Google sheet if we haven't done that already. But yes, the details will be on the marketplace listings.
Man, the armor looks so beautiful. You guys should check it out. Also drop the links in the chat here for both the flat top and the armor.
Yeah, I have a handful of sled barges, but that Calico Flat Top is a super sexy ship.
Yes, very cool. Okay, announcement posted. You can see the limited quantities, the prices, and the crew pack bonuses on each one of the offers that we have today. Michael, I think this was a very packed town hall, right? I can see the community is happy. They even have new memes with your horse. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is getting hideous.
I think my horse is scarier than the
True.
one I'm looking at, though.
True.
For the Tokes redemption, we're not running that just yet. We will probably implement a redemption process for people that are holding Tokes as we get closer to mainnet launch. So for now, this is just exclusively a promotional sale. I'm sorry, Jose. I'm just running through a bunch of final questions here.
Feel free to do that.
Yeah,
Any last
I
question?
guess the last major thing I see here is just the new user here, Dracariz, asking about z.ink website claiming. Yeah, I mean, the dashboard that is there is purely for a presentation. It's just hypothetical. It was a snapshot that we took yesterday, not the final snapshot. You have to be engaged in all of the Star Atlas mechanics that are in UZXP. That makes you eligible for the Origin season allocation. And you can get a sense of what your allocation is going to look like right now. But just note that XP is still ongoing and will be for at least a few months. It kind of depends again on when everything comes to ahead with C4 launching on mainnet, the z.ink Genesis event, the conclusion of the Origin season campaign, everything else I've covered previously. So right now it's just there for you to view. However, the on-chain program is fully working, and so if you want to claim your z.ink test token, you can do so. There's no value there, but you can just run through the process if you'd like to test that feature.
All right, all right. I think we got everything, Michael.
I think so. It was a big day. Great town hall. Thank you for co-hosting with me up here, Jose.
It was a pleasure, Michael. I am still learning. Next time I'll be more watchful of reminding you of take a sip of water. But we made it through, and now we have a lot of C4 PTR playing and testing to do.
Yeah, guys, get out there and test the new Unreal Engine update when that gets approved by Epic. Go check out the new docs and bridge and claims portal on z.ink. Reach out to us if you want to open a conversation about becoming a validator, or if you have questions about the docs. We'll look to get some workshops set up with developers to kind of walk through the back end of operating on z.ink as a validator. And otherwise, get in there and start playing C4 and give us your feedback, guys.
Absolutely. And get yourself some claim stakes, cultivation claims while they are still there. Don't miss the opportunity of the discounts of the crew packs bonus. It is exciting to say the least, and you need those in the future for C4.
Yeah, good point. Oh, and by the way, just a final point on that is the promotional window is going to run for 2 weeks. So you'll get the discounted rates and the crew packs for the next 2 weeks if you purchase. That'll be a snapshot, and we'll distribute the crew packs to you after. And just one really important thing, Jose, is the highest multiplier in all of the ZXP mechanics is through purchasing items on the primary marketplace. So if you want to boost to your ZXP, going out and getting participating in the promotional sale is a great way to get that boost, and we certainly appreciate any of the financial support.
Absolutely, Michael. Make sure to gauge new heights in the airdrop by participating in the purchases, and we'll see you guys there in the C4 PTR. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Michael, for everything. This was a really packed town hall. We have a lot to digest. But honestly, right now, the only thing that I want to do is go into the C4 PTR.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks for the enthusiasm, and thanks again, Jose, for being up here. Jacob, Danny, Brad, thank you guys for your presentations today as well, and everyone else on the team for all of the work that goes on behind the scenes. Really appreciate you all.
Appreciate everyone. Let's go, team. Let's go, Star Atlas. It's our time now. See you guys in the PTR. Bye-bye, everyone. See ya.
Have fun. We'll see you.